We helped an 8-figure supplement brand to increase the repurchase rate by 40% and their LTV by 18% with our database post-purchase flows. And in this video, I'll break down exactly how they work and why they're converting so well. This video is for e-commerce brands that already have customers coming in, but struggle to get them to buy again. Let's start with the results first. So here you can see the results from our split test. We've tested their current post-purchase flow against ours. And here are the results after around 6 weeks. So we increased the repurchase rate from 17% to 23%, resulting in a 36% increase in repurchase rate and a 13% increase in customer lifetime value. And then we analyzed the results 2.5 months later again, and we could see that we were able to increase the repurchase rate from around 19% to over 27%, resulting in a 40% increase in repurchase rate and a 18% increase in customer lifetime value. The problem most e-commerce brands have is that they're either unprofitable or slightly profitable on the first order, which means in order to make a profit from these customers, they need to get them to repurchase. But the repurchase rate is low. And the low repurchase rate is their bottleneck to scale to the next level because they have acquired a bunch of new customers unprofitably and they need to make a profit off of them by getting them to repurchase, but they're not able to, which is why they cannot scale as fast as they want to. And the issue is that they are treating all of their customers the same. All of their customers are getting the same emails with the same timing and the same offers. And that is causing them to have a low repurchase rate. Because just think about it. If you have a customer who bought a sample box and you have a customer who bought a 3-month supply of your supplement, you cannot treat them the same. They have totally different customer experiences that they need to go through in order to repurchase. Someone who has purchased a sample box is ready to repurchase within a few days after delivery. Whereas someone who's bought a 3-month supply needs weeks and in most cases months in order to repurchase. So you cannot treat them the same. And the solution to that is a fully segmented and database post-purchase flow system that creates personalized experiences for your customers based on what product they bought and how many units they bought. And here's a great example of how this can look like. This is a post-purchase flow we have created for one of our clients. And you can see, based on what the customers bought, they will go through a personalized experience just for them in order to maximize repurchases. And you can see how complex this post-purchase flow looks like, but this is what is necessary in order to increase your repurchase rate by 40% and in order to increase your LTV by 18%. Do you think your post-purchase flow looks like the post-purchase flow of AG1? You might think maybe this is the post-purchase flow of AG1. Now open your Klaviyo account and have a look at your post-purchase flow. Does it look anywhere like this or this? Probably not. And this is why your repurchase rate isn't as high as it could be. And this is why your LTV is not as high as it could be. Now let's dissect what makes my post-purchase flow, the post-purchase flow we are creating for our clients, so special, and why is it increasing repurchase rate and LTV so massively. So the first thing is we are adding conditional splits by product. And if you check our post-purchase flow out here, what you can see is based on what product they've bought, we've added a conditional split, and then those customers are going through that exact branch with the personalized customer experience. Because, as I said, you cannot treat the sample box buyer the same as someone who has bought your 3-month supply. And maybe someone has purchased a totally different product. They need a personalized customer experience that speaks to their problems and to their desired situation in order to get them to repurchase. And if you're not doing that, then your post-purchase flow and your repurchase rate will stay unoptimized. The second thing that we have done is behavior-based timing. So what we are doing is we are using a data analytics tool that is looking at the customer experience, going through all of the data in Shopify, and then finding out the median second order time lag of your customers based on what product they've purchased. And this will show you when customers will typically repurchase. And the funny thing is, you think that if your customer has purchased a 1-month supply of a supplement from you, that they will most likely need to be reminded of repurchasing after 25 days maybe. What we have seen with our data for this client is that if someone has purchased a 1-month supply for them, they need to repurchase after 10 days. And if they're not, they are going to churn. So we need to get them to repurchase and start the repurchase process as soon as possible after around 10, 11, 12 days in order to get them to repurchase, because afterwards they will just churn and they will never come back and buy again. Once we've added not only the conditional splits, but also this behavior-based timing based on the product, and we've really done it for all these different products and set the time delays perfectly at the time where they should have repurchased, but they haven't, and then we sent them replenishment emails with maybe a 10% discount code, then we were able to improve their performance. So the next thing that we've done on our post-purchase flow is smart discount logic. So we started with a 10% discount code after the time where they should have repurchased. And if that hasn't worked with a reminder, then we would wait a few more days, and then we would have a flash sale with 15% or 20% off only for 48 hours in order to use urgency to get them to make the purchase. And that has also worked very well. And this kind of promotion was one of the best emails that have generated the most amount of revenue for our clients. And then on top of that, based on the product that the customer initially purchased, we have also personalized and added data-driven cross-sells. So what you can do is you can go into Shopify and you can see items bought together. This is a report that you can have a look at. And what you can see is if they've bought this product, they've most likely bought it with another product. Or if you use our data analytics tool, what you can also see is they've bought this product, okay, then in the next purchase, they most likely buy one of these products. And then you can see the percentage of how likely it will be that they will buy this product in the next purchase. And then what we've done is, based on initial product, all of these emails are containing some cross-sells. Not any cross-sell, but the cross-sells that, based on data, will get as many people to repurchase as possible based on the first product that they've purchased. So if we know they've bought protein shake, and we know that protein shake customers are most likely buying another protein shake with a different flavor, and maybe it's strawberry and chocolate, then we're showing these cross-sells and we're showing strawberry and chocolate. And if they've bought a protein bar, and we know, okay, if they've bought a protein bar in the initial purchase, then afterwards they will buy a protein shake, then we will show them the protein shakes, so not just any protein shake, but our bestseller flavors to get them to repurchase and increase the likelihood of them to repurchase. And the last thing that we have done, which has created these massive results for our clients, is to also create a data-based winback flow. And you can see our winback flow also looks very complicated, but basically it's the same. We have conditional splits in there. And then based on what they've purchased, the time delays will be different. And then also the cross-sells are again data-based. And then also what we have added is we've looked at all of the offers our clients have run and what offers have worked the best. And we've took these offers that have worked the best and put them into our winback flow. Because if someone has not purchased and they've went through our entire post-purchase flow and they have not repurchased, then we need to be a lot more aggressive and get them to repurchase. Because even if we're giving them 20%, 25% off, who cares? If they're repurchasing, we will still make a huge amount of profits because there's no ad spend that needs to be deducted from that purchase. And this way, we have built a winback flow that is data-based, that is communicating what they're missing out on if they're not repurchasing. And then we're just going into their best offers that they've ever ran, and we put them into the winback flow, which, interestingly enough, is one of the highest performing flows. Right after the welcome flow, it's one of the highest performing flows. And this is the kind of post-purchase flow experience you need to create for your customers in order to maximize your repurchase rate and LTV. So if you want to maximize your repurchase rate and LTV to be able to scale to the next level, then you can click the first link in the description and book your free audit. We just need 15 minutes of your time to get the accesses we need, and then we will do a full audit of your post-purchase flow and give you suggestions on how you can maximize your repurchase rate and LTV, together with all of our other strategies that we are implementing for our clients. So if that's interesting to you, click the first link in the description, and I'll see you later.